Have you ever felt like you're just stuck on a hamster wheel? You start a new habit, you're all in, and then poof, you're right back where you started. Well, today we're diving into a framework called Your Great Reset, and it takes a totally different approach. It's all about rebuilding your life's foundation, literally from the ground up. So let's get into it. Right off the bat, the program hits you with this powerful idea. It challenges that little voice in your head that says you failed because you didn't try hard enough. But what if that's not the real story? What if the problem isn't about your effort at all, but something much, much deeper? And there it is. That's the core concept. It's not about pushing harder on a structure that's already wobbly. No, it's about making the whole thing solid to begin with. This whole foundation metaphor, well, you're going to see it pop up again and again. So what exactly is this foundation problem? Well, think about it. Every time you start a new diet or a new workout plan with all this amazing energy, and then it just fizzles out. This framework suggests that the real reason is a fundamental lack of alignment. I think the philosophy here is so smart. The goal isn't to somehow avoid all the tough stuff in life. Instead, it's about learning how to use it. A stumbling stone, something that trips you up, becomes a stepping stone. And when you stack enough of those together, you've built yourself a launching pad. It's a really cool way to look at progress. And this gets right to the heart of it. Failure isn't some personal flaw. It's a system glitch. The message here is loud and clear. You are not broken. You're just out of sync. It's like your body, your mind, and your spirit are all trying to go in different directions. And you can't build anything amazing on a foundation like that. Okay, so if the foundation is the issue, how do we actually fix it? This is where the program introduces what it calls the 4 stepping stones. These are the absolute core pillars of this entire system. The very first stepping stone is self-control. But, and this is a big but, it's probably not what you think. This isn't about just gritting your teeth and using sheer willpower to get through the day. No, it's treated like a muscle you strengthen through small intentional challenges, like, say, taking a cold shower or deliberately skipping that dessert. So how does this actually work? Well, by choosing these tiny moments of discomfort, you start to rewire your own identity. You stop trying to be a disciplined person, and you start becoming one. And that identity shift, that's what makes the new habits stick. And maybe most importantly, it teaches you how to keep promises to yourself again. All right, next up is spirit. Now, this isn't necessarily about religion. It's more about becoming the master of your own inner world. You know that constant chatter in your head? It's about learning to quiet that noise and actively direct your thoughts instead of just getting dragged around by them all day. And this is where it gets really fascinating. It's this incredible blend of old and new. You have this very modern idea of prompt engineering the human mind, which is basically feeding your brain better inputs to get better outputs, right alongside timeless wisdom and the latest in neuroscience. It's a really unique and powerful combination. Stepping stone number 3 is all about the body, and the program draws a very clear line in the sand between a typical diet plan and what they call a fuel strategy. So what's the difference? Well, a diet is usually about looks and temporary rules. A fuel strategy, on the other hand, is all about giving you mental clarity, sustainable energy, and living by long-term principles. This just completely reframes how you look at what you eat. Food isn't the enemy. It's not something to fear. It's information. It's data for your body. The idea is that when you give your system the right data, foods that fight inflammation and give you steady energy, your brain just works better, and making good choices becomes almost automatic. And the final piece of this foundation is fitness. Just like with food, the philosophy here is probably a little different than what you're used to. This is not about punishing yourself in the gym. It's not about chasing some specific body type. It's about moving in a way that's going to keep you strong, mobile, and full of energy for the rest of your life. So what does that actually look like? Well, the focus is on things like mobility and flexibility. Strength training is done with lower weights and higher reps, designed to build you up without burning you out. The whole goal is to actually have more energy when you finish a workout, not less. That's how you build momentum. Okay, so you've put in the work on these 4 stepping stones: self-control, spirit, fuel, and fitness. You've built your foundation. So what happens next? Well, now it's time to build your launching pad. The launching pad isn't really a final destination. It's more like a whole new operating system for your life. It's that incredible moment when you shift from just trying to survive the day to actively and powerfully moving towards what you really want. That solid foundation you built, that's what you launch from. And what can you launch? Well, that looks different for everybody. For you, it might be about finding a deeper sense of purpose. For someone else, it could mean hitting a new level of peak performance at work. It could even be about helping an entire team find its drive. It's all about aligning with your mission. A great framework is one thing, right? But how does all of this actually come together in the real world? Let's take a quick look at the system itself and why community is such a massive part of it. This whole program is really built on one simple truth. We do better when we do it together. I mean, look at the research from places like the Blue Zones. Having a strong community is one of the biggest predictors of a long, happy life. So it makes perfect sense that a support network is a central part of this journey. Okay, so here's a quick peek at how it's all set up. What's really wild is that the core of the entire system, the 4 stepping stones, the community access, all of it, is actually free. Then you have options to add on tools like an AI coach, group calls, or even one-on-one guidance if you want to accelerate your progress. When you zoom out and look at the whole picture, it all boils down to this one simple, elegant idea. Think about an airplane. When all the parts are aligned and working together, you get lift. It's the same thing here. When your mind, body, and spirit are in alignment, progress stops feeling like a constant uphill battle and starts to feel almost effortless. So, we'll leave you with this one question to really chew on. Just imagine for a second, what if you weren't spending all your energy just trying to hold things together? If your foundation was truly solid, stable, and strong, what could you build? What would you launch?